Hello, Aquarius and the collective Aquarius placements. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a reading for any and all Aquarius signs, or if you feel called to just listen in on this reading could resonate for you. We are going to get into just a clear, honest message for you. What do you need to hear for your highest good? We are going to clarify with the Hermetic Tarot, but we're going to start the reading off with the Crow Tarot. The Crows. The Crow Tarot is really, really cool and, dreamy-like. I don't even know how to explain it other than, it kind of looks like how dreams look like vivid dreams. Yeah, that one's better, like the pattern on the wall. I want to preface the reading off with, I'm already kind of getting an understanding that some of you Aquariuses are very intuitive, very in depth in your mind at the moment, and you are understanding yourself like no other. I don't think anyone else is noticing. I just want to say that. Whether you want them to notice or not, I don't think anyone is noticing the depths that you have gone into and are in, how deep in your mind you are. It doesn't have to be like a bad thing of just being in your head and in your mind. It's like you're going within yourself and learning deeper meanings to certain parts of yourself, and just there's a lot of I don't know. I really want to talk about it with the tarot, but I want to explain what I'm trying to explain first. Because I also want to preface, being in your head isn't a bad thing. You're, studying yourself. And there's a lot of understanding to not understand. What I mean by that is you're coming up across things in your mind that you don't really understand fully. It could be things about situations in the past, things about yourself, how you handle those situations, what happened to you in those situations. You are just kind of letting it sit there. Okay, this has come up in the mind. You're not treating it as good or bad. There is just, we are thinking about this, and this is now on the table of Aquarius's mind space. Aquarius's thought patterns. It always goes back to thinking of certain things that even more stuff is just put on the table. And what I mean that it's just things coming to the surface of your mind and oh, I remember that. That wasn't that great of a memory, or maybe it was, or maybe it's just a memory. It's just a memory of something random. Putting it on the table and keeping mental note, because there's something drawing you deeper into yourself that I think the tarot is really trying to come out the gate and just be hey, this is what you have been trying to not understand for a while, and now I feel like most Aquariuses, or anyone watching, is really, for the true enlightened Aquarius is watching, everything you don't already know about yourself is just now being put on the table of your mind. It's being resurfaced in the mind, or just surfacing. And I want to say resurfacing because it could have been, there could have been memories that lead to traits within you that push you in a good direction. Maybe when we're really in the zone doing this task or this hobby, this job, whatever it is, there's something about that, not knowing your skills and talents, because you have to be in the moment to understand what you're doing in the moment. And I feel like most of us as just human beings will understand that you never really, like, see your own accomplishments. It's kind of hard to see your own accomplishments. It's hard to see, like, oh, I fucking did that shit, and that was some pretty cool shit, or I am doing this cool thing, and it may be, like, amateur to some people, but it's not amateur to you. What needs to be heard, seen, said, read? The first card to come out here is the Justice card, which is very old. We're going to get into it. I'm going to try my best to explain the message. This is going to be a very in-depth message. If you don't understand everything fully, that is okay. This is going to be a lot of, like, I don't really understand, but then once I say everything fully and, like, finish this paragraph of a statement, it's like, boom, now it makes sense. Or maybe I don't understand this reading right now. 2 days go by and you're like, what the fuck? Now I understand the reading. Like, give tarot readings some time to play out. When tarot comes about, this energy could last 2 to 3 days, or 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 months, or 2 to 3 years. There's a lot of different energies and timelines with tarot, and you can't really exactly know the timeline. You have to be very skilled and read tarot in a very particular way to understand all that time. But we do understand time, essentially. Like, fire energy seems a little faster than earth energy. I think earth is going to move a bit slower than fire, just in general. Ooh. Justice is out here in the beginning. Ooh, okay. We'll do 4 of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Pentacles, and Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Keep that right here. Justice, 4 of Wands reversed, and then Wheel of Fortune. Here we go. I'm going to show you the cards. The art is very important. Very dreamy cards, like I was saying. Very dreamy. I see Justice like this. Like, this is how I see 4 of Wands and the Justice right now. Like, you are the Justice, kind of like shooting up for the stars, shooting for the stars kind of feeling. You want to find yourself, you want to find yourself at the end of all of this, but you don't know if you'll be there on the other side. And it's like, it's so silly to the universe. The universe is like feeling like, oh, silly Aquarius, like, you take yourself with you every day. It's one of the things that you've been kind of annoyed about, and when it comes to dealing with things that don't feel good, you're like, oh, I gotta take my problems with me. You can't run from them, you know. They come, like, the shit that is within you will stay within you. You just can't run from it. And I'm gonna say now is, if you are watching and you are running from any kind of emotions, any kind of thoughts in your brain about past things, yourself, and you're choosing to try and ignore these things, either this isn't the reading for you, because you're just not gonna listen, or listen up, Buttercup, and get with it. Because this is the listen up, Buttercup energy is coming from yourself. I want you to always imagine that is coming from yourself, because that is so important when it comes to pursuing happiness and true, stable happiness. Like, happiness isn't a final destination. Happiness is a sustainability thing. Like, you sustain happiness. It's something you keep stable, keep in balance. That is the whole point of balance in general, is to keep the good stuff in balance, because the bad stuff sometimes may outweigh the good, but then the good may outweigh the bad. And that is the cycle of life in general, just the waves and cycles of life. This is a true understanding a lot of you Aquariuses are coming to now, because you have all of this intuitive sense of justice to just follow this heartfelt sense of balance here. See these scales? Don't need to say much about that metaphor. You see the scales. You can put 2 and 2 together. You ain't dumb. I'm gonna let you look at that symbolism. What does that crown mean to you? Triumph? Triumph over what, exactly? The justice is always depicted blindfolded and with a sword. So I want you to be careful about using that sword, that mental fortitude, that mental strength, and directness very thoroughly, fluidly, and precisely. Discernment is a big part of this as well. Because these are the things that are going to keep all of this in balance. Because the Wheel of Fortune always talks about how this wheel is spinning round and round, and these beasts are trying to hold on tight, and the beasts are technically like parts of you that are trying to hold on, we can keep this spinning wheel in control, and the spinning wheel is literally the universe, is literally life. Like, you can't control everything in life. And that is the blatant, like, obvious explanation of the Wheel of Fortune sometimes, when it comes in as a very chaotic energy. It's like, you can't control shit, so watching it just kind of go insane is going to help you observe it, understand it, and plan and prepare for more, essentially, moments like this. Because life isn't done giving you lessons. Life is never done when it comes to learning things. No one is ever done learning. You can't ever say you know everything, because time is still moving. Everybody's got something new that they're doing, creating, learning. There's never something that, like, you'll know that everything about, you know? There's always something new to learn. And I think when you take that aspect into life and how you treat pursuing happiness, it's like you're never going to get that destination of happiness. It's always going to be something to keep in balance. And that's the true destination, is the balance. Seeking the balance and preparing for imbalance to bring balance into the imbalance. There's a lot of dualistic energy, duality. I want you, Aquarius's homework is to study duality within yourself. Study why and how justice came to be in your life, how balance came to be after imbalance from decisions that you've made. How have you created balance and imbalance in your life? We have the Hermetic Tarot here, clarifying the Crow Tarot. These are very, very besties when it comes to these two tarot decks. They're besties for the resties. I say that in a joking way because we can have fun with tarot. It doesn't always need to be so serious. I just want to say, when we be talking about some real shit, the Crow Tarot and the Hermetic Tarot, two biggest no bullshit decks. You ain't getting no bullshit from these two decks. That's all I'm gonna say. I say that as someone who's been called out multiple times. And I'm gonna say called out is a very just like exaggerated term. These decks gave me no bullshit. And I sat there and I was like, oh, yes, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Aye, Cap. I am listening. I hear you, because there's a difference in how these two decks really explain things. And you can be hit with the hard truth, but it's all about how it's worded. I feel like for Aquariuses and anyone watching this is like, you are very particular about how things are worded, because there's so many cliches out there, and cliches have their ring of truth in them. You know, cliches are cliche for a reason. But at the same time, we all kind of want a little bit of a different way to say something. And I think this is where I want to say that these two decks are very good at doing that. Like, there is different ways to say things that we've been wanting and trying to say for a long time. We have the Chariot reversed, the Lovers reversed, and Eight of Cups, clarifying the Justice card. I'll show you how they came out, and then I'll show you all the cards upright so you can kind of see all the art. And then these two upright. Oh wait, hold on. Mix the order up. This is the order that they were in. Hold on. Look at that Eight of Cups card. You see those two flowers filling up just those two little cups? What if you had a flower for each cup? What if you had a source of fulfillment for each part of your soul that wants and desires to be fulfilled in life? Whether we want to succeed at something, pursue something, complete a task of some sorts. What if instead of two things, you had all 8 or maybe all 10? So each part of your life that you want to gain fulfillment from, that you're like, oh, I love that, that gives me fulfillment. How can you set something up to where you are essentially gaining fulfillment from it while also just sitting? It's like a sit and forget kind of a thing. There's like this, how can you bring an energy in while it's almost as simple as breathing? Like when you seek this fulfillment out, it's like it could be an activity or a hobby that fulfills you, and you're like, oh, I want to bring that in my life more. How can you seek that to where it's almost like water, like breathing? Like it's super easy for you to go out and do that thing. You just have to like make sure you got enough rest, you got some food in you, some water, all that good stuff. And then you go out and do that thing, and it's just simple. The biggest what is like artist block, creative block for anyone in any scenario, you don't even have to be like a creative person, any sort of mental block that I feel like people have, that comes in the form of you can't get out of bed to do the things that you're passionate about, the things that you love to do, whether it's just something small and going on a walk. That is the like step one, like the next step. The next step isn't, oh, just do it because you're lazy, stop being lazy. No, you're not lazy. What is stopping you? What is the thing blocking you? It is okay to question that, and not to just chalk it up as I'm just lazy. You're more intelligent than that, Aquarius, and that's the biggest thing that's being talked about, is you are more intelligent than you're giving yourself credit for. You're seeing all this stuff resurface in your mind, and you are just kind of like, yep, it's there, And I feel like for some of you, you are partially leaning on the side of ignorance because you're ignoring parts of yourself that feel true to you. And I don't want you to ignore those parts. I don't want you to be ignorant to those parts. And I don't want you to see ignorance as a bad word. It's just the word that I need to describe that action of ignoring yourself. It is ignorance in seeing something and then, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go and do this thing over here. Da 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 da. Why don't I feel motivated? Oh, because I haven't looked at this stuff over here. Okay, so I'm gonna go do this thing now. And you know what you're doing. I'm not going to lie to someone who can't even lie to themselves at the end of the day. Whether an Aquarius is a shitty person or a good person, those Aquariuses cannot lie to themselves. They know deep down exactly what they're doing. Whether they're going to tell themselves or tell other people, they know deep down. I can't understand how. It's really intriguing to me because it's such a human nature thing to want to ignore ourselves. Like, there's nothing wrong in wanting to feign ignorance. Like, be like, alright, I don't want to look at that. I just want to go do the thing I like to do. It's easier. There's nothing wrong with that. And the thing that has been stopping you, and that block that we were discussing, why is it here? Where is this block coming from? It's coming from you. It's coming from you calling yourself lazy when you are not working on a particular thing. And it could be a thing of the mind. It could be a thing of reality and, like, responsibility. But you calling yourself lazy in all of these negative terms, because I can feel it, it's easier to call yourself the negative thing than it is to build yourself up. And the weirdest quote I'm going to quote is something from, I think it's Mockingjay Part 2 of Hunger Games. It may be Part 1 or Part 2. I think it's Part 2. Oh, no, it's probably... No, it's Part 2. It's Part 2. Right? No, it should be Part 1. There was a moment of the main character and this other, like, supporting character just having a very, like, sad but somber moment. And the one supporting character, all they said was, it's 10 times easier to fall apart than it is to put yourself back together. And that's the thing of, I know for a fact, and I know deep down that you, Aquarius, or whoever's watching, you do not want to start from square one again. You do not want to start from square one again. And I'm saying that as advice and saying that as I know you don't want to start from square one again when it comes to the emotions that you've dealt with and learned in your heart already. You've learned a lot about yourself. This is the strength that needs to be recognized. Hello, Two of Wands. Three of Pentacles reversed. This is clarifying the Four of Wands. Ooh, we have 2, 3, 2 out here. Clarifying the Four of Wands. What is that? Yeah, Two of Wands, Three of Pentacles, Two of Cups. I'll flip these upside down. What can you do to enlighten yourself in a way that everything you do is you working as a team for yourself? Everything you do is, I'm working with myself. It's me, myself, and I in this, and that is the best team that I can have right now. And if it's the only team that you can have right now, that is, like, or not the only team, I feel like it's okay if that's the only team. What was I trying to say? Did I mix up what did I say before that? I think I mixed up what I was trying to say. God, the way things are worded, so, like, cryptic. I'm trying to make the words in my brain make sense for reality. You are building a lot of things that need you to be able to be a team player for yourself. There is no other team player that you need right now more than yourself, okay? You need yourself more than any other player that is on your team. You could have other people on your team, like friends, family, whoever you choose to be family. You can choose the people on your team, but you need yourself on that team. Like, you need to forget everyone else and put yourself on that team. And if you feel like you're not good enough for that team, time to start training. And you need to treat yourself almost as if you were, like, if you were a father coaching your kid's sports team. It could be any sport, but the sport is you being on your own team. That is the sport that you're training for. And this is the part that is, like, if you need to reframe it into training for yourself, working as a team, there's a framework and framework of mind that you need to make around this. If teamwork isn't the right word, there's plenty of other words: collaborating with yourself, creating things with yourself, and just attuning to yourself, attuning to your own self and your own nature, and being like, all right, we're coaching ourselves, basically. Coaching is another word. Basically, same thing as teamwork. There's different ways to word this. There's different ways to reframe it, and if you need it to work for you, you are more than welcome to do so, because no one's stopping you. The tarot ain't even stopping you from how you want to word it, okay? But the only way that the universe wants you to word it is not in a way that's going to call yourself lazy, stupid, negative, blah, 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 blah. That's just bullshit that is yapping away that you know you don't need, okay? Because the goal isn't happiness. The goal is the balance, to keep the happiness, in pursuing those passionate things. And not just pursuing it like breathing. It's really hard to get ourselves up and do the things that we love to do. It's so hard because there's so many other things that distract us. Laundry, dishes, basic day-to-day adulting things, groceries, making sure your bills are paid, like making sure you're saving up for things, or making sure you have time to do things with X, Y, and Z people, you know? There's so many parts of life that just distract us from wanting to get up and do that thing that we love. And maybe even getting up off our ass and being a bit nicer to ourselves. It's difficult. I ain't gonna fucking lie to you. But there takes a mental fortitude to push past that. Because that's the sense of justice that you create for yourself. That is you creating that framework to coach yourself in. You say, hey, here's the coaching curriculum. This is what we're learning. And you say, all right, me, time to get to work. We're getting to work. Do you need food? Do you need water? Do you need some sleep? How about a shower? Maybe we just take a second to get ready and then we get going. You know, whatever you need to give yourself in order to get going. It's like, if you need to travel a long distance, this was on the bottom of the deck, by the way, that horse is not going to travel a long distance on an empty stomach. So it's also having that awareness and that fortitude, but understanding that anything that stops you is just another chance to push past into, not push past an old part of you, but push past it and into a new version of you. This is you also working as a team with yourself. This is that life's changing. Life is always going to be moving. So why stop here? Why stop now? That is a big, like, why stop here? Why stop now? I feel like it is just, so much cool energy for Aquarius right now. What do we have for the Wheel of Fortune? Wheel of Fortune, clarify 3 cards, please. Queen of Swords reversed. Look at this MF and Queen of Swords. Look at that. Hold on. Let it focus. You see what she's got in her hand? These are genderless cards, so even if you see ladies on here, it can still represent you. Look at that. Cutthroat. Cutthroat. Right? Think about people who have very, like, not doing that. We're stopping that. We stopped it. That done. End of story kind of energy. You have all of that, but the discernment to understand when to really, like, okay, we want to start running, but we need to make sure that, like, oh, we know how to crawl, we know how to walk. All right, let's walk a little bit and then let's run, you know? There's a ease and grace in this discipline, and I think that's the thing that needs to be really, like, focused on, is the discipline doesn't have to be cutthroat. It can't always be cutthroat. Humans are not built like that, okay? You don't always have to be on every single time and be on time every single time, and you're a failure if you mess up this one little thing in your routine, yada yada yada. No. I do want to mention that the Lovers card, when we talk about lovers, if when this is on YouTube or published on Twitch later, go back and see what I was talking about with this card. Think of the Lovers card, always think of your choices. Anytime you see the Lovers, sometimes it's a lot about choices and not really about love. But the love can come from yourself, and the choice to love yourself. I forgot to mention that earlier. I just needed to mention that because you're growing past a lot of cutthroat energy that is not serving you. That I always gotta be on. I always gotta do this. I always gotta. You always gotta to always gotta, like, there's this energy in you that's like, shut the fuck up, give us a break, god damn. There is a difference of a coach, and that's my motherfucking coach right there kind of energy. There is a father figure coach, a very, like, we could say genderless father figure because it's just a masculine role, but there's definitely, like, a very fathering energy that, oh, this was so funny. There was I forget which sign it was. I think it was Libra that was like, you need to mother yourself, but Aquarius, you need to father yourself. You need to, like, be your own dad. Because, listen, the Emperor card isn't just, like, a dad. They, like, or isn't just a father. They're like a dad. Like a dad. A real dad. And a real dad does not have to always be a man. I'm going to say this for anyone in the sense of, when we talk about dads, we talk about people who provide us genuine foundation to build off of and build and grow, because that's all that those people sometimes want to see. They want to build and provide a structure for other people to grow, because that provides them with happiness. There is a genuine archetype of people who play very masculine roles in life, and it could just be any kind of person. They provide that structure. They provide that sense of security, the walls, not just the foundation, but the support system of a house, the walls, the roof, all of it, like that metaphorical home. There is a structure, there's a certain way that a house needs to be built in order to be supported properly, structured properly, insulated properly. Like, there are very, very specific tasks in this, like, providing energy. And this is the energy you need to give to yourself. This is the father energy that you are needing to provide to yourself. What's going to be the best cement for your foundation? What is going to be the best wood to build the frame, and what is going to be the best supports to support the roof and the ceiling and all that stuff? What's going to be the best kind of insulation, you know? Like, think of all of this as a metaphor for yourself, for your mind, body, and just your whole entire being, your soul. Mind, body, and soul. So you don't need to be as cutthroat as you used to be. That's why it came out reversed. There's a gentle grace in this discipline. It's like, hey, all right, we can take a second to wake up and, not really have to run and get started right away, but we have to get started. I don't care what it takes to get you moving and get that graceful, like, okay, all right, I'm ready. And I don't even feel like I rushed myself kind of a thing. Those are the things that are going to so graciously benefit you in this time and benefit you in the future and how you handle yourself. And that is the, like, mature father energy. It's the Emperor card in the tarot deck, which I'm very surprised it hasn't showed up here. But I'm not surprised in the sense of, because there's a lot of other archetypes within you that have needed to be talked about and just, like, shared amongst yourself. Clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Queen of Swords, the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles, always just simple explanation for that card, is equal give and take. Graceful discipline to have equal give and take towards your own independence. This is the card of independence and the card of seeing your own, work come to fruition. When you actually give yourself graceful discipline, you see how your mental health changes and how being a little kinder to yourself gives you a little more motivation to do that thing you wanted to do. That is the fruits that you are bearing from the things that you've grown within yourself. And the more work that you do, the more fruits that you will bear in order to enjoy this beautiful thing we call life and growing with life in general. Ooh. Queen of Swords, Six of Pentacles, reversed. Both of those are reversed. And then Nine of Pentacles, clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands, which is a card about reconciliation, but not in a way that you would think. Sometimes we have to reconcile with the way that we used to think in our minds, and the way you used to think just ain't it. It ain't hitting like it used to anymore. It's not. It just doesn't feel like you. Doesn't feel right anymore. And you need to follow that. Following that is going to provide you with that genuine life and happiness in life. Happiness in providing balance, There's a genuine happiness in providing balance for yourself. Because at the end of the day, we all got to be a little bit selfish and choose ourselves, but, like, that is for our own benefit. I feel like, for anyone who's been feeling like they've been too selfish, it's like you kind of have to be a little selfish in order to gain some, like, betterment and improvement in your life, We all got to do that for ourselves. If you want shit to get done, you got to do shit for yourself. I want to preface that before I show you the cards, because I'm going to show you them the way they came out, and then I will show you them all upright. And then I think looking at the art on the cards is very important. It's very beautiful art. Okay. You've been creating and cultivating this energy within you for so long, and I don't think you've even really noticed it, because when we first were talking in the reading, there was a lot I was mentioning about how so much has been surfacing in your mind that you've just been putting it on a table of, like, mental notes, and, like, okay, oh, we're thinking about that now. Okay, we're going to put that there. We'll come back to you. Okay, we're gonna put that one there and we'll come back to you too. Okay, and then now you're looking at it of like, there's a lot on this motherfucking table here. There's a lot that needs to be focused on now. And now you need to make the choice to be a little selfish and give yourself that time to focus on it. There is no other person that you need other than yourself right now. And if you need to just cancel a plan, hey, we'll go and link up another time and even schedule another time. And then be like, hey, maybe we'll hang out tomorrow because tonight I just really just want to give myself a little bit of self-care. Or if you don't want to say it's self-care, you can come up with some other silly reason. Just make it like a simple thing. It doesn't have to be like a crazy elaborate lie. Don't fucking lie to people you care about. Don't even lie to yourself, because you ain't doing that. I know you ain't lying to yourself. But if you just have to be like, hey, you know, alright, I want to stay in, or I got some plans, you don't have to explain yourself even. Just give yourself time. This is the most important time to give yourself time. And every single thing that just ain't it anymore, if you are finding things that you used to do, you used to like, and you're like, this ain't it, I don't really like it, I don't think this is it for me, don't force yourself. Do not force yourself to push yourself in that direction. There's no reason for you to do something that you don't really like doing anymore. There's really no reason. And if you find yourself that you still want to do it in certain ways, well, maybe you just want to do it in a different way. We can always change how we do something. Like, if somebody likes art, they may not like painting anymore, but they could try a different kind of painting, you know? They could try oil painting instead of acrylic painting, or vice versa, you know? Like, simple things like that. I feel like there needs to be a shift in perspective when it comes to, oh, why does this thing not feel like I want to do this anymore, you know? Why does this thing not hit? Why is this not a thing I want to like, or why don't I like this anymore kind of energy. There's nothing wrong with questioning it and then being like, oh, well, maybe I just need to make it like a new thing again. Not a new thing, but like, there's nothing wrong with changing a small thing about how you do something. It's those little shifts that give us these moments to explore our own heart, explore our own mind, explore our own happiness. And when you explore your own heart, mind, and happiness, you understand, all right, how big of a foundation am I going to need to support all these things that I kind of like? And start small, go from there. It's like, start small and then just make notes as you go. Ain't going to happen overnight. And I'm not even going to continue speaking any further because you need to get to work, Aquarius. Stop listening to me and go think about yourself for a second. Be a little selfish, but be honest, and don't be rude. Stop being rude. I don't want to catch you being rude to yourself, because I'll know. Even when you're thinking about it, I'll know. Alright? So, catch yourself if you're being rude to yourself. Be kind. You're amazing. Be gracious, and just give yourself grace and graceful discipline. Please give yourself graceful discipline. That is for a lot of you. Some of you are not nice when you are disciplining yourself. You need to just be a little nice to yourself. A little bit kinder, okay? Maybe not kinder, but just less mean. Jesus Lord. You don't need to always be so fucking rude to yourself. God. I love you, Aquarius. You're doing great. Doing amazing. I'm proud of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me read your cards. And that is all I have for you. So, I'm gonna end on that. That was a wild reading. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you are on this beautiful planet Earth of ours. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.